All right, hello everybody, and thank you for joining me today. This is going to be a 60-minute Hatha. I'm going to encourage you to start as always, just lying on your backs in the Shavasana. I do have a block in the strap. Just finding your way into your comfortable beginning spot. No rush. Just those few moments to connect your breath with your body, just taking the time to feel the breath as it moves through the body. Slowly, gradually lengthening the inhales. Bringing your breath entirely through the nostrils, the in and the out. Using the breath to nourish the body. Just noticing the sensations, the release that comes from the exhale. And then we'll slowly bring some awareness back, just gently wiggling fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Gently taking your chin from one shoulder to the other. And then slowly drawing the feet together at the end, pointing the toes, taking the arms overhead. Find that full body stretch. Really just think about lengthening on the inhale. Feel this everywhere that's possible to be felt. And on the exhale, release it. A sigh. Inhale as we stretch. One more, filling up completely. And then slowly just drawing the knees in towards either the belly or the armpits. What feels good in your body today? Really trying to get rid of the last time you were on the mat. We tend to repeat things. We tend to feel that we know what the body needs and what the body doesn't need. I'm really going to encourage you to listen to your body every time you get yourself on the mat, because we are actually different every day. You feel pretty good here, no tension in the lower back. You're welcome to add a little bit of weight. The compression starts as soon as the weight happens. So gravity is naturally going to draw your thighs closer and closer to your belly. And then if you choose on the exhale, you can actually draw your thighs in closer to the belly, causing massaging through the belly, through the abdomen, through the digestive system. And then gently letting that go. We'll come into wind relieving, just a few breaths, extending through the left leg, bringing the right knee in towards the right side body. Find your length. Really think about lengthening on the inhale, so the extended heel, the crown of your head get farther apart. Feel your shoulder blades draw down your back. And then on the exhale, see if you can draw your right knee in closer and closer to that side body, causing more length and more space. Slowly drawing the left foot onto the mat, taking your right ankle over the left thigh. So just a very gentle lung hip opener here. thread the needle. You're welcome to come into the full version, taking your right hand through the space you've created. If it's the first time you've moved today, I'm going to encourage you to take your right hand into your right thigh and maybe just open that way. Just a few breaths. See if you can find more space through the one side of your body. So we're looking to open up through the right side. Notice if you're really tight, then you would have found some tension somewhere. Sending that breath to where you feel the tension. And then slowly releasing that side, extending out through the right leg, drawing in through the left. So the right leg is active, the left leg is not. We're finding length on the inhale and space on the exhale. And then very slowly drawing your right foot onto the mat, coming into thread the needle on this side, left ankle over right thigh. And coming into this side the same way you did the other side. So if you came into full thread the needle, you're going to interlace your left hand through the space you've created. Otherwise, just pushing into your thigh. Really always respect that knee. No weight, no pressure in the knee joint. And then gently letting that go. Bring both feet down. Windshield washering. Just finding your release, that back to a neutral. Then we're going to take the soles of our feet together and open the knees nice and wide like a book. If you're really tight, you're going to take your feet far away from the body. If you feel pretty good now, you're going to draw your feet closer and closer towards the torso. Hands can go anywhere that feels good to you. Hands on the inner thighs causes more weight, generally opens you a little further. Hands on the belly helps us breathe. Arms overhead adds a shoulder stretch. What feels good in your body? What does your body require right now? Close the eyes and come back into your deep, steady breathing if you've lost it. Notice if the body's starting to tense with this opening. You can make fists in your hands to support your thighs. If that feels good, breathe through the tension. See if you can lengthen your inhales even more. The longer the inhale, the more the exhale is going to help you release and open, relax. And then we're slowly going to take our hands and we're just going to gently close the knees up like a book. Take your feet about mat distance apart and allow the knees to fall in. Reverse corpse. Find a release through your lower back. You most likely found some tension and we want to let it go. If you feel yourself here very steady, very released, you're always welcome to gently windshield wash, but I'm going to encourage you to keep your feet nice and wide, just moving through the hips. And then we're slowly just going to allow both of our knees to drop down to one side, either side. Take the hands out from your shoulders, palms down. You should feel that in your shoulders. And gently take your gaze in the opposite direction that your knees went. And then slowly come back through to center and gently allow the knees to travel the other direction. Gaze away from the knees. And then slowly coming back to center. One last windshield wash. And then gently making your way over onto your hands and your knees. Coming into child's pose. So once you make your way over, take your knees nice and wide, big toes touch, and allow the forehead to gently drop down towards the mat. Elbows are touching at this point, so there's no activation. This is a very relaxing, releasing posture. And then we're slowly going to make our way up into our downward dog. So we're going to bring ourselves forward. We're going to bring our knees in a little. You're going to curl your toes and you're going to ground through the hands, roll through the body, and bring yourself up into your first downward dog. Once you get there, most likely keeping your knees pretty bent, it helps release a lot of tension in the lower back and the hamstrings, especially if this is your first downward dog of the day. So just doing anything that feels good to you. Always remember it's your body, and what feels good to you may not feel good to others. Firmly grounding through your thumb and your index finger. Take some of the weight out of your wrists. No matter what you're doing with the legs, think about aiming your heels towards the mat. They may never touch the mat, but we want the engagement coming from there. Once you think about grounding down, you'll feel different parts engage. It should help you feel longer and more open. If you're feeling pretty good, think about taking your bum closer and closer to the ceiling or where the wall and the ceiling meet, and drawing your chest closer and closer to your thighs at the same time as grounding through the heels. If that is too much, you always have the option to keep your knees really bent. It will help a lot. And then we're just going to warm the core up here a bit. So we're going to inhale ourselves forward into our plank. And on the exhale, you're going to draw yourself back up. Think about using your core here to move forward and back. As you move forward, feel yourself push out through the heels, engage through the front of the body. And on the exhale, feel that same movement in the opposite direction. Just a couple more. Drawing the shoulder blades down the back, like really feeling all your core muscles. And on the exhale, we come back. One more here, nice and strong. And back. And then we're slowly just going to walk our hands to the back of the mat, finding yourself in your first forward fold. So your feet are about hip distance apart. A great gauge for that is about 2 fists. Your feet can always be closer, but never farther. When they get farther, the hips come out of alignment. So just find your dangle. You can have the tops of your hands on the mat. Maybe grab your opposite elbows if that's your preference. Swaying a little from right to left, just looking for release. Being able to fully breathe in an inverted position is wonderful for the body. Gently rocking your head from from yes to no. Just the sensation to make sure you're releasing through the neck. And then coming through neutral, if you've got your elbows, let them go. Slowly rolling yourself up. Coming into your mountain. We're going to warm up a little bit here throughout the entire body. But take a moment to find your mountain. Basic postures are really easy to just hang out in, but it's actually a very, very active posture. You should be able to feel yourself grounding, lifting, and opening all at the same time. Notice if you've stopped breathing or the breath became shallow, bringing yourself back to where we began. And then slowly letting go of that containment, slight bend in the knees, inhaling all the way up. Exhaling through, nice swan dive here. Inhaling to a flat back, think about stretching, and let it go. Couple more, we did this to warm the body up from the inside out. Exhale as we swan dive, think about cascading over the thighs, stretching, and releasing. Nice and deep on the inhale, coming all the way up. Exhaling through, nice flat back, no rounding. Inhale, even nicer back. Let it go. One more time, coming all the way up. And through. Flat back. And down. And then we'll inhale all the way up. Palms touch. And hands to heart center. Take a breath here. We're going to make our way into chair. So we're going to take the arms straight back up. Think about your arms staying pretty close to your ears if possible. And then on the exhale, making your way into your chair. Arms can also be straight in front of you if that's your preference. Feel the breath move through the body. Notice what your lower back has done. We don't want to allow the rounding. Weight is predominantly in your heels. And then gently releasing, rolling over the thighs, let it go. Coming all the way up on your inhale, stretching, reaching. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Inhale. And then we'll come into a balancing posture. We'll take our hands on our hips and we'll make our way into tree. So we're going to start by grounding down through your left foot and drawing your right foot up. So your right toes can always stay on the mat. If you're going to play with balance, you're going to draw the foot up a little higher to remove the toes from the mat. You want the engagement, it's opposing forces here. The right leg is pushing into the left leg is pushing back. If you want to go further, you're welcome to draw your leg up higher. You can never put any weight on the knee though. You must always respect that knee joint. Hands on hips, hands can stay at heart center. Think about drawing down through the shoulders. Hands can come to your back body. You can extend up into a more open tree. Think about lengthening though. So when we come into anything where we have to focus on balance, see if you can focus on breath instead. The more you can allow your breath to move through your body, the stronger you will actually become. And then slowly allowing the right knee to come forward, let it go. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, swan dive. Nice flat back. And down. Coming all the way up. Really think about reaching, stretching, slight back bend. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhaling here. And then the hands to the hips for the opposite side. So your left foot is going to come off the mat. Maybe your toes choose to stay on the mat. Find the engagement. There's never a right or wrong. Really just think about your standing leg and your lifted foot pushing into each other. It'll help you engage through the core to keep you upright. If you want to play with balance, the left toes are drawing up. If you want to come higher, you're bringing it up. Again, respect the knee joint. Hands to heart center. Open into a tree. If you are opening into a tree, see if you can allow the wind to blow through your leaves. And then again, notice if you become extremely tight to stay there. Tension causes more tension. Feel your breath expand you. Feel your breath ground you. And then slowly allowing the knee to come forward, let it go. Inhaling all the way up. Exhale in a nice, beautiful swan dive. Nice flat back. And down. And then we'll take our hands to the mat and we'll walk ourselves back into a downward dog. So most likely feeling a little more open now through the hips, but again, doing whatever feels good to you. Just those few breaths to feel yourself ground, to feel yourself lengthen, to feel yourself settle into your posture. And then this time we'll slowly walk our feet forward, maybe coming onto the tiptoes, walking slowly, one step at a time, finding yourself in a forward fold. Inhaling all the way up. Feel the breath move, feel the body engage. Exhaling down. Flat back. And release. Hands are going to come to the mat now. We're going to take a nice generous step back with the right foot. We're going to make our way into a runner's lunge. So find your grounding. If you want to stay here, you're welcome to. If you want to get a little further, hands can come to the thigh. If you want to come even further, runner's lunge with the hands behind you. If the hands do come back, think about opening through the chest and coming down into a bit more of an angle, like about 45 degrees from the crown of your head to your extended heel. Breathe into any tension. Right hip comes forward slightly, left hip a little bit back. You want your hips to stay in line with each other. Anytime you look down, your left knee is on top of your left ankle. You should be able to see your toes. Breathing into tightness, breathing into the discomfort. Gently allowing the hands to release and slowly stepping your right foot forward, let it go. Inhaling all the way up. Hands to heart center. Take a breath. This time we'll take our hands to our hips. Inhale to open. Exhale, nice flat back as you make your way over. Hands touch down for the opposite side. Generous step back with the left foot. Always staying here if you choose. If you came up on the other side, playing with coming up, really think about engaging through the front body as you make your way up. Always remember, the stronger you are, the more you can learn to engage different muscles. That's what actually helps us get stronger. Feel the breath move through the body. Notice if you've stopped breathing. Gently, the hands are going to touch down again, and we're going to step our left foot forward beside the right. Inhaling all the way up. And hands to heart center. Inhaling here. Hands to the hips. Inhales open. Exhale, nice flat back as we make our way down again. And we're going to step back again with the right foot. This time we'll make our way into crescent lunge. Think about grounding and lifting. Hands come up beside your ears. If you feel pretty good here, maybe playing with taking the gaze up and drawing back through the upper back. Breathing. Slowly coming back down. And this time we're going to drop our right knee gently onto the mat. We're going to make our way into dragon lunge. Uncurling the back toes and walking your left foot out to give your chest, your belly more space to come down in the center. Both your hands are on the inside. Some of you may wish to curl your back toes to draw that knee back further. Starting here, take your gaze up, see how that feels. As soon as the gaze comes up, the belly and the chest are going to come down and open more, and that might be more than enough for you. If you're feeling pretty open today, or you're generally open, you can always play with coming down lower. Once you come down onto the forearms, however, your weight must be able to evenly come down. The tendency is to allow the right arm to take all the weight, which really just shifts all the weight over onto the right side. So you need to be able to keep both arms firmly on the mat together. If that's a little too much, but you have room to play with, this is where blocks are great. They have 3 heights. They allow you to come down more evenly, which actually allows the body to open more. Wherever you are, just see if you can keep your gaze up a little bit. We tend to want to look down, but once you look totally down, you're going to round. Most of us are very tight through the hips as we sit too much. So this is pretty intense, really just breathing through the sensation, find length and maintain the breath. And then wherever you are, we're slowly going to make our way up and out. So we're going to walk the left foot in, back towards center, frame the foot, curl the back toes, and then gently step forward again. Inhaling all the way up, find the release. Exhaling on a swan dive. Nice flat back. And down. Inhaling up. And hands toward center. One breath. Hands back to the hips. Inhales open. Exhale, we come forward again with that nice flat back. Hands down to the opposite side so the left foot goes back. Find your grounding. Lifting yourself up into your crescent moon on this side. And again, maybe play with coming back as the gaze lifts. Gently touching down. This time slowly dropping your left knee onto the mat, walking your right foot out, allowing that space. Staying here or maybe curling the back toes, lifting just to allow more length through the front of the body. Always remember everybody is different and everyone is tighter, everyone's looser, everyone's just got a different body. Play with taking your gaze up, shoulders down. And just notice where your breath is sticking. If you could fluidly still breathe. If you're really not feeling anything, you're going to play again with coming down. But if you do come down, make sure the weight is evenly distributed between both arms. And if it's not, you're going to use block just to make it so. We tend to be different on both sides of the body as well, so it's very normal. Breathing into the tension. Find comfort within the discomfort. Generally applicable in hip openers. See if you can keep your gaze up just a little longer here. And then we're slowly going to make our way out of this side. So if you do have a prop, you're going to remove it. If you're you're going to gently walk your right foot into the center again, frame that foot, curl the back toes, and this time you're going to step yourself into a downward dog. So the right leg comes back, and then we'll just walk that out. Play with moving through the hips in any way that feels good to you. Find yourself in a static dog, so really grounding down through the thumb, the index finger. Think about drawing up, rotating your elbows forward. Feel your shoulder blades come together, and then grounding down through your heels. Again, you may never touch the mat, but you should find more length in the hamstrings. And then we're going to flow a little. I'm going to do a modified flow. You're always welcome to do a full flow. So on the inhales, we're going to make our way forward into that plank. Slowly drop the knees straight down. Find your triceps here, so the elbows stay nice and close to the body as you make your way down. Inhales, we come up into baby cobra. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. So the hands are just gently beside the chest. The elbows are pointing up. You're grounding down through the tops of your feet, and you're moving this with breath. So the inhales almost always lengthen us for everything. And on the exhale, see if you can draw down through the tops of your feet even more, at the same time drawing up through the chest. We want to learn to engage all these little muscles that surround the spine. It helps us with everything. And then gently dropping down through the chin. We'll change it up a bit. We'll take the hands beside the body, palms down. Your feet can stay together or your feet can come about mat distance apart. It's going to depend what feels good to you. And then again, we're going to start this one a little bit differently. So we're going to firmly ground down through our hands. And on the inhales, we're just going to lift up through the chest. See if you can push down through your tops of your feet and your palms at the same time. Draw your shoulder blades back. Just noticing the sensation, if any, especially through the spine. Feel the breath. In this posture, you can feel your belly move into the mat. And on the exhale, maybe you can come up a little bit higher. Gently letting that go, chin down. And then we'll come into one more. Gently rocking your hips if that feels good in the interim. And then again, your feet can stay where they are, or you can gently draw your feet closer together. It really does depend on your hips. Sometimes it's much harder to keep your toes together. It makes you engage a little more through the inner thighs. So on the inhales, we're going to lift. Everything's going to fly this time. And on the exhale, we're going to come up. So everything's lifting off the mat. If you have it available, you're welcome to interlace your fingers. See how much you can fly. Inhale to lengthen. And on the exhale, the belly comes up, the thighs come up. Feel the breath. Notice if you've stopped breathing. And then gently allowing all of that to come down. Once we drop down, we'll take one ear onto the mat. If your legs were wide, I'm going to encourage you to draw your legs closer together and allow the big toes to touch. That will most likely help you find some release through the lower back. See if you can draw down even more through the ear that's on the mat, getting a nice stretch through that one side of the body. Then very slowly lifting up through the chin and just changing ears. Once the ear touches down, see if you can ground down more. If you're tight through the neck, the shoulders, you tend to feel this here without doing anything. slowly bring yourself back through the center. And then we're going to come back into that flow. So drawing your hands back beside the chest, beside the lower ribs, whatever feels better to you. And you're going to draw yourself up over the knees. I'm going to curl my toes and I'm coming into a modified downward dog. You're more than welcome to come into a full dog. Inhale and lengthen here. Feel this through the back body, and on the exhale, see if you can draw back a little. Then we're going to inhale forward into our modified plank. Exhaling down. Inhale, we come into that baby cobra or all the way up. And on the exhale, we're pushing, rolling over the knees and coming back where we started. Taking a breath here as a break. And really feel your inhales. Feel the length move through the body. Feel the strength with the exhale. Inhaling up. This is very graceful and engaged. And exhale is long and takes us all the way back where we began. Inhaling forward. Feel the body. Notice the triceps take over. Inhaling up. And exhaling all the way back. One more round here, coming forward and down. Inhaling up and exhaling back. We're going to make our way into child's pose now. So you're welcome to uncurl your toes and keep your knees close together, dropping down through the forehead and taking your hands behind you. This is not for everybody. Some people find this very uncomfortable. If this is not for you, you're going to make your way into a traditional child's pose with the knees wide. Wherever you are, make sure your forehead is on the mat though. Gently allowing a bit of a rock from right to left, massaging that brow. We tend to furrow there, hold a lot of tension. Let it go. And then wherever you are, slowly bringing yourself up. We're going to roll the body into a forward fold. Just dangling. You're going to make it more active. You can do this at your own pace. Take your peace finger and your thumb, wrap it around your big toes. See if you can bring your weight a little more forward into the toes. Inhale to lengthen, nice flat back, and on the exhale, you're actually using your arms to draw yourself down. If you have a lot of space, you can play with coming into a gorilla, which is lifting up the soles of your feet and drawing your hands underneath. If you are coming into gorilla, your toes must meet your wrists though. So the inhale is still lengthened, and on the exhale, you're still drawing yourself down. Making sure you can breathe. You're aiming to straighten your legs here. For some, this is never going to happen. As long as you can breathe and you're getting a nice stretching sensation, you're good. And then we'll gently release that. Just sway. Slowly rolling ourselves back up through standing into mountain. Inhales open. And then we're going to make our way to the front of our mat. We're going to make our way through the warrior series. So we're going to be at the top. We're going to take our hands to our hips, and we're going to take a generous step back with the right foot. Find your lunge here. So your left knee stays on top of your left ankle. The back foot is grounding down. You should be able to see that your pinky toe is touching the mat. Opening when you're ready. Hands up, hands down. Listen to your shoulders. What feels better? Use the breath. You'll feel yourself naturally lift. And on the exhale, maybe there's more space to come into. palm, making your way through exalted. So you're reaching up and down. Slowly coming back to center. Hands to the hips, straightening up. Toes are going to turn in one direction, and we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, nice flat back, open through the chest, and make your way over. Hands are going to touch down wherever's comfortable to you. Maybe you can allow this forward fold to continue. Just make sure you're not rounding through your spine. Firmly grounding down through the outside edges of your feet. Releasing the crown of the head wherever you are. And then we'll slowly come up, nice flat back, the same way you went down. Keep everything active, keep the spine nice and long. Hands to the hips, and we'll switch sides. So our right foot is now going to become our forward foot. You might have to lengthen a little to find your lunge for your warrior two on this side. Take time. Right knee on top of right ankle. Always encourage the looking back. It takes a bit more work to engage through that inner thigh. So just make sure you are engaging by grounding through your baby toe. Opening when you're ready. And then feel the breath. We naturally lift. Maybe there's space to come into. Slowly flipping the front palm, making your way through exalted. So we lift up and back. Slowly coming back through the center, warrior two. Find your lunge, make sure you're breathing. Hands to the hips, slowly straightening. One more forward fold here. So again, this time maybe walking your feet in a little bit closer, but make sure they're parallel with the edges of your mat, interlacing your hands behind you. If you cannot easily interlace your hands, you're using a strap or a towel, a t-shirt, anything you can pull on. Inhale, lengthen, that spine stays long, and we make our way over again. This time you're drawing your knuckles up towards the ceiling and maybe even towards the wall behind you. See if you can primarily bring your breath to your shoulder girdle here. See if you can find expansion even though it's tight. And then slowly release the hands here. Nice flat back. And then we're going to just surf ourselves forward. So walking the hands, the feet follow, and you're going to take your back foot behind your front foot and make your way onto your bottoms. You're going to come down into a cross-legged. I'm going to use a block for this next one and just turn into face you. So just find a 90-degree here. There's no rush. Just think about grounding down through both of your sits bones and feel the imaginary wall come behind you. Just have stock of where you've come. So we're not allowing the rounding forward. We're bringing ourselves up. And taking your left hand beside you, taking your right hand up and over. What feels good to you? Where you come in this may be different than others. behind you, switching the cross, so whatever leg was on the bottom is now on the top. Take a moment, find 90 degrees. We tend to lose 90 degrees very quickly. And then taking the right hand beside you, left hand up and over, recognizing the side is most likely very different than the other. Inhaling back to center, let it go. I'm going to use the block like I said for this one. So we're going to take our feet nice and wide. I'm going to encourage you to move any jiggly bits. Just make sure you can feel both of your sits bones into the mat. If you do have a block, we can put it on our head. Having the block on your head helps to keep the spine in line because you want to round. Everyone wants to round. So play with that 90 degree. Make sure your hamstrings are engaged. So we're pushing down through the backs of our legs. We're drawing our toes in. And then when you're ready, think about lengthening through the chest and then switching over to the left foot and drawing down. So think about aiming your belly towards your thigh. The hands can gently walk beside you. A lot of people like to grab their foot. This is all up to you. If you do not have an actual block you can use, think about an imaginary block. The only point on the block is to stop the rounding. Feel the breath. And then slowly allowing that to release. Come up, let go of that hamstring. When you're ready, find the engagement again. Just think about the 90 degrees. Both your hamstrings are down. And then let go of the left. Find more engagement in the right. Feel yourself open. On the exhale, we rotate towards the right leg. And then think about the belly and the thigh one day touching. Shoulders stay drawing back. Hands again can go wherever feels good to you. No pressure in the knee though. Feel the breath move, just noticing how the body actually flows, ebbs and flows with your breath. The ebb and the flow is what allow us to come deeper over time. It actually gives us space to move into. And some of you may be way up here. There's nothing wrong with that. It's still the ebb and the flow. And then slowly allowing yourself to come back through the center. Release there, just rolling out the ankles and let it go. We're going to do one more here. We're going to take the soles of our feet together. And take your hands behind you, just to gently walk yourself forward or to walk your sits bones a little closer to your heels. If your knees are way up here and you're really not comfortable, I'm going to encourage you to sit on a block, a pillow, anything that slightly allows you to tilt forward a little bit. Find your 90 degrees. You can have your hands in front. Most of you will probably have your hands behind you. It's going to almost be an imaginary wall. It helps to open. And then on your exhale again, think about drawing your belly towards your heels. If you're not feeling this, however, you must walk your hands to the front. So the hands can pull onto your toes. A lot of people like to push down their elbows into their thighs. I just encourage you to find length and listen to your body. Again, the block just helps us keep our spine nice and long. When we come into any type of fold like this, we want to round. We always have an aim of where we're going. The block doesn't allow us to aim. And then wherever you are, gently let it go. So allow everything to release. If wherever your heels are is really not comfortable to you, it's a little too intense, you're going to take your heels farther away from the body because now we are just allowing gravity to round us. And then wherever you are, slowly rounding ourselves up, back through seated, and we're just going to make our way onto our mat. We are going to come into bridge. You're welcome to come into a restorative bridge or an active bridge. This is completely up to you. I'm going to do a restorative bridge today by using the block. If you have a couple of throw pillows, they will work perfect. All the block's going to do is keep my hips up and allow a bit more of a chest opener. If you're coming into standard bridge, it's the same thing. You're grounding through your heels. You're rolling up. You're aiming these lovely bones, your hip bones, up and back. And then you're going to take your block and you can put it on its lowest height. I'm going to go with the second highest height. If you had a few throw pillows, you could stuff them under. And then you're going to just keep your hands beside the body, palms face up. You're going to walk your shoulder blades underneath your chest. You should actually feel some expansion there. We're going to either stay here or maybe play with extending your legs. Once you extend your legs, gravity takes over and it opens the front of the body quite a bit. And this is not for everybody. If you are not comfortable here, you're going to bring your feet back to the mat. And wherever you are, you're slowly going to make your way out. If you are extended and propped, you're going to just walk one foot in and then the other. And when you're ready, grounding through the heels, rolling up, just enough to remove the block, and there is no rush, especially when we're dealing with the spine. When we come back down, really think about rolling through the spine as opposed to just dumping yourself down. Once you come down and touch down, staying here neutral, maybe allowing the knees to fall in, maybe gently rocking from right to left. What feels good in your body at this moment in time? And then we're going to take the soles of our feet together and come into another Supta Baddha Konasana, our reclined butterfly. Just allowing the knees to fall out. Maybe quickly noticing how less intense this is from the first time we did this. We opened in the same posture at the beginning of practice, and hopefully now after the work we've put in, we're feeling much better in this posture, more released, more relaxed, breathing fuller. This is always a posture that you can take your hands into anything that feels good to you. And then slowly just closing your knees up like a book and gently windshield washing. Let it go. We're going to make our way into another version of thread the needle. So we're going to bring ourselves to center. We're going to take the right toes up towards the ceiling, activate the leg, draw the right leg over the left. So we started in thread the needle. If you are still really tight, you're welcome to stay here, or you're welcome to take your right hand into the right thigh again. If, however, you have a lot more space now, as it is the end of practice, you can draw your left knee towards your left side body. The right hand goes through the space, maybe interlace on the back of your thigh. If you can easily keep your tailbone on the mat and your shoulders on the mat, you're welcome to interlace on top of your shin. But if you're interlacing on top of your shin and you round it up anywhere in the spine, you're losing the benefits of the opening anyway, so it's much better to keep your hand on the back. A lot of people like to use a strap here. If you're using the strap, it goes on the back of your left thigh. Wherever you are, you should always be long. Always trying to stop the rounding that the body wants to do. The body wants to do things easier. We want to do things harder so we can open more. And then gently letting that side go. We'll take both of the feet onto the mat, gently windshield washing. The windshield wash is just a release if you do not need it. You never need to take it. When you're ready, taking the left toes up, engaging through that leg, dropping the activated leg down, and coming into this however you just did on the opposite side. So again, same options. I really encourage listening to the body here. So the shoulders are drawing together down the back. You can actually feel both of your shoulder blades touching the mat, otherwise you have rounded. Then your tailbone, think about drawing it down. The tailbone naturally actually comes up, especially when we lift the legs off the mat. So you have to learn how to actually go the opposite way of that. Think about drawing down through the tailbone. You'll feel the length in your spine instantaneously. Make sure you can breathe. Most people are very tight through the hips, and then this becomes an extremely tense posture. If you're not breathing, the body will not release and open. Yoga is all about breath. Linking breath with movement and allowing the body to trust you so it opens more. And then gently allowing that side to go. Both feet on the mat again, gently windshield wash. We're going to take the hands out from the shoulders and gently allow both of your knees to fall down towards the right. Gentle spinal twist. If you wish to come into a deeper spinal twist, by adding weight or anything, you're always welcome to that. And then gently allowing the knees to come up and dropping in the opposite direction. Slowly coming back through to center and gently releasing into your final Shavasana. So choosing where you wish to spend the last few moments of your practice. Standard Shavasana is the feet nice and wide. Everyone has a different version of wide as well. Your hips really dictate where that feels good. Hands away from the body, palms up will allow the shoulders to release. Slowly allowing the body to resume its natural breathing. Just letting go of your Ujjayi breath, letting go of that forced breath. And then you are always welcome to stay here for as long as feels good to you. If you are coming up, just going to encourage you to take a moment. At the end of every practice, I encourage the same thing. I just always encourage you, everybody, to take a moment to thank your body for allowing you to find some positive. Thank you for practicing with me today, and I hope you enjoy our 60 minutes of Hatha together. Have a great day, everybody.